Here we are at Captain Quirk's model and prop shop. Woohoo! Excuse me. And this is the 1-to-1 scale captain's chair base. Now I want to discuss its construction a little bit here. I just got done using the orbital sander to smooth the whole top plate out. And what I'm getting ready to do is cover this with a thin layer of wood putty, allow to dry, then sand smooth and shape. Then I'll be drilling holes to run the electrical wire. Now this is constructed out of 1/2 thick inch plywood. Good grade plywood. Truby came all the way down from Ohio to help me pick the stuff out, and we had to sort through stacks of lumber to get the quality parts at Home Depot because most of it was just full of knots. At any rate, what we're using here is we've used framing staples, the same type of staples that you use for building frames for new construction housing. Now we've gone really heavy with the staples and heavy with the 1/2 inch plywood, and we've included supports and subframing that normally isn't there. Now this is just the base. I'm getting ready to do the exact same thing to the cradle and the 2 pedestals. One pedestal goes underneath this end, the other pedestal goes between the cradle and the base. All right, let's look at this in a couple more minutes. And here's the cradle. Now this is where Captain sits. And then the back, which I'm going to have to build the Madison chair components by scratch or from scratch. What we've got here, we've got added supports all around, inside and out. Now what I'm getting ready to do is to test fit the plates that go on top. Again, 1/2 inch lumber with framing staples used by construction workers to staple frames together in new construction houses. So this is very strong. Plus we've added supports everywhere. Now just a minute and I'll show the plates that go on top. All right, here's the plate and the laser cut parts that go on top of the armrest. As you can see here, I'm going to have to trim both these pieces because apparently Igor got in a hurry to go home and didn't do the project right. So I've got to recut both these pieces, but we've got the rough cut holes to run the electrical up for all the lighting. This is sitting here as a joke, okay? Thank you. Now, I'm going to trim these pieces up. I'm going to start cutting holes with a hole saw to run the wiring, the 120 electrical that's going to power everything. And we might get a look at that later. I'm not sure. I think this movie's running long, so we will see. If not this movie, then the next movie. Woohoo! And this is the cabinet and the base plate for the 1-to-1 wall mount comm system. Now I'm going to be adding soundboards to this. I've already got the sound files and everything ready to go. I've already programmed the soundboard. But I've got 4 channels on the soundboard and I've really only got 2 channels here. So one of these channels is going to be strictly alert, and the light is going to flash in sequence with the alert. I'm going to add 2 more buttons over here, which is accurate to the TV show, and I will show that. I'm going to add 2 more buttons over here for 2 more voice channels, and I've got several files that are going to play through this. Kirk to the bridge, Captain Kirk, Lieutenant Uhura, this is Captain Kirk, etc., yada yada yada. And all this is going to look exactly like on the television show, and you will see that in a future video. All right, this is the main housing for the Spock's viewer. I'm getting ready to encase this in styrene. Then I'm going to spray paint the inside black, encase this in styrene. I've got parts that I made up by hand and a couple of laser cut parts that I'm going to add for the dial and the detail on the back. And then I'm going to put a blue light in it, and this will be going up for sale. Alrighty then, here we have the 1-to-1 studio scale 11-foot Excalibur BC deck. I'm getting ready to wrap this up. I'm going to go over it one more time with the orbital sander smooth shape, and then I'm going to cut along the cut line, which you don't see yet, and add the bridge dome. Now, I've got a 4-inch bridge interior that's getting ready to go into this as soon as I get it done. Now, this may or may not be a kit. As soon as I get it done and it looks pretty and it's got all the go fasters, I'll have to show it on Facebook and or YouTube, and then maybe you guys can decide if you want one. There you go. Let's have a look at the 1-to-1 Nomad. Woohoo! How do you like me now? Okay, there it is. Now I'm going to show some more of this in just a minute, but here are the main body parts. Now this part right here came from the other kit, and it's wrong. Sorry. Wrong size, wrong thickness. I'll show that in just a minute. Here's the main body. I've also got a salad bowl I'm going to cut down for the other part that goes on the bottom. And I'm going to have to recreate that part because it is wrong as well. Let's look at some more 1-to-1 Nomad parts. Here is the aluminum plate I had precision manufactured. I had 4 of these made up off of a design that I made, and that I had my good friend Bill Perry put into vector art, and then it was cut. Also, for the 1/6 scale Nomad, my good friend Elliot Brown used the same pattern to make 1/6 scale aluminum plates. I had all these cut at the same time. Now, as you see, here is a paper model template. Yes, once again, a paper model template. Now, I'm gonna have to recreate all the parts that go on here because, again, the original kit was wrong. So, I took some old ice cube trays and came up with some resin parts that are going to match perfectly. All I have to do is cut them down and shape them a little bit, and I will have some of my greeblies and details. Now, this is wrong again, and I will show that. Not that part. Okay, hold on just a second. There we go. Now, this is what it should be, and it is more than a little too small. So that part has to be recreated just like everything else. So there you go.